As we go into this level of teaching, we want to put a little disclaimer. We think it's necessary to put a little disclaimer as we begin to talk about what really happened to Canaan, those blacks who turned white, and what happened with the curse of Canaan and leprosy and Ham's son's disease, which curiously today they call it Hansen's disease. You understand what really happened to so-called white people and the recessive genetic recessive disorder that produced so-called white from black. This is not for us to, as so-called black peoples, as Ethiopian and Hebrews, to glory over this, to lord this over someone because we have melanin and we're melanated. This is a divine responsibility that we have as black people, especially black people who are in the true Christ and his kingly character consciousness, the true Christ consciousness, the true messianic consciousness, especially this day and age that we're in. So we want to put a little disclaimer that this is not to gloat or to glory over the fact that white people or so-called Caucasian or Caucasus Asians, and we say this because of how this genetic disorder actually is defined, and it's so clear if you look at the media and the news. You understand what it focuses on. Most of the news focus on things like watch out, summertime is coming, beware of the sun, and skin disease and other type of diseases that when we have studied and traced them, and other scholars amongst us have studied and traced them, and we are provided their research, and we go into their research and we affirm that much of their research, or in some cases all their research, is right and exact. This is not to glory over the fact that some people lost their skins, some people lost their color, some people lost their melanin, some people were cursed with a genetic disorder. This is not for us to glory, but this is for us to deal with what the truth and what the facts is, not to obscure or to suppress or to distort or to twist the facts about the matter. You understand? Because this is where a lot of folks, get a little bit sensitive, because we're talking about, oh, look how leprosy happened, so forth and so on, and white people produced by red, so forth and so on, because the only one that profits by this false sense of glory that people may have, because no one, when they're born, chooses, at least we don't know of it yet, that they choose consciously, most people, what sort of skin that they're born into, or what sort of race that they're born into, contrary to popular misconceptions and notions. No man chooses their parents, or otherwise if they do, then just prove that's so, and let us verify that that's so. So people don't choose what sort of body or flesh they're born into necessarily. So for us to glory because we have melanin and we are melanated, all we're seeking here is justice and divine justice. And there's great injustice that has been done to black peoples because of the rearranging, twisting, and distorting of the word of God, and the suppressing of truth concerning us, until you have some black folks that want to include everybody as black folks, when the evidence and the history of it and the science of it actually says something to the contrary. So the ancient Canaanites were, key operative word, they were black people. But to say that they are, or black people come from them, is just categorically incorrect. And this is the reason why we once again take up this issue, and going to focus on some curious comments, hopefully in the next couple of videos on this particular subject matter. The next couple of blogs that we do and teaching that we do, we're going to focus on, and we already prepared that for, namely, Aksumite Empire, another individual who really says some real off-the-wall stuff, saying that there's archaeological evidence for the Canaanites being black, but there's no archaeological evidence for Noah or for Ham or for Cham, and that's just totally out of the way. So just putting that disclaimer on the front of what we have to say, we'll get into the main part of the message.
We as African people, we must remember our past, no matter how harsh, no matter how horrible, no matter how great. We must remember the good, and we must remember the bad. And remember, for African people to have survived the horrors of slavery and colonialism, it doesn't testify to a weakness, it testifies to our strength.